Hi, everybody, and welcome back to TV for Real, where reality and scripted TV collide. My name is Mike Bloom. I'm joined, as always, by Sasha Joseph. Sasha, how's it going?
So good as always. Listen, always a pleasure to talk to you, Mike, and maybe a little bit of a pleasure to talk with our guest.
Maybe. What do you mean, maybe?
She's trying to set the bar low that our guest will gleefully hop over. Of course, he is used to doling out a lot of roles through his various weekly Blood on the Clock Tower streams, but we're going to be talking about the other roles that he might enjoy, TV roles, that is. Thrilled to be welcoming in. I'm so excited personally to bring this guy in from Survivor 43, the great Dwight Moore.
Thank you, Mike, for being glad that I'm here. And hey, Sasha. I hope you're okay. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, doing great.
Dwight's gonna kill me every time on Goose Goose Duck now.
Or it's not great. Oh no, we're doing so good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we're so thrilled to have you here, Dwight. I mean, I want to rewind all the way back to the early days of Dwight Moore when you were Dwight Less. What is like the first show you remember becoming a big fan of as a kid, as a teenager?
I was like a kid. Oh my god, I remember. I think the show was called Dragon Tales. It's like a kid show.
Yes.
But love that show as a kid. I was like obsessed with that. I remember as well. Like I think it was like my birthday party, like 3 or 4 or 5. My parents like got like cake from the show and everything, like the characters on it. It was like so much because I loved the show so much. Insane. So I remember that one very vividly. My parents still remember that birthday party. It was so fun. Other shows as a kid. Oh my god. Just the random like Disney Channel shows, honestly, a lot of the time because I was just on. The Zach and Cody shows were on a lot of time. Disney Channel, that was fun. Like you forgot, I'm a child. Okay,
I know. I always forget.
Yeah. I'm about to age out the audience here, and you're like, what is he saying? These shows don't exist. But no, that was like a lot of stuff. A lot of like cartoons and stuff. So a lot of that as a kid, and then I also remember all the time when I was. My mom, it just has like Law and Order SVU on, so I'm always watching that lying next to her too. So I'm just like watch like 10 seasons of this show while I'm like a child. Just
do you remember? Yeah, do you remember taking anything in from all the proliferation of sex crimes in your mind?
Believe it or not, no. I'm just like, oh, cool TV show, and then that's it. So just like having TV on in the background. So yeah, just having noise on as a kid, but I was always on. What else? But yeah, as a kid, those are like like Dragon Tales was like the big one that I remember, for sure. How about you guys? Like any like shows stand out?
Oh, I'm trying to think of like Sasha. Did you ever have like the birthday party themed around a character?
Unfortunately, I don't know. Property? That wasn't really a thing in India, I feel like, where it felt very much like, oh, you have the basic party with the cake and then the samosas. I know it's so ridiculous. And you literally get a piece of cake and a samosa. And the cake, it doesn't really matter. McDonald's had just opened up in India, in my city. So McDonald's birthdays were like big. And I definitely had one where they rent out the whole like floor for your birthday.
How many floors were in the McDonald's?
3.
3 floors.
Huh?
Yeah, so that's like what I remember. And my mom was very big on birthdays, so we always had like big bashes. And I'm an only child, but yeah, they were very much like, it's more about like how big it was than the theme. But I bet I had a Barbie birthday. I'm sure that was the like thing I'm into even now.
Yeah. So Dwight, what did the cake involve? Like, was it actually in the shape of a dragon head, or did they just like take cutouts of the characters and stick them in the cake?
I think it's like, how people can do like the scan of like a photo or something, kind of like icing esque.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. So they do that for something. It's like the Kroger that's like 5 minutes from the house. Like we had like they knew someone at the cake farm who like loved doing stuff for like the party, so they did that for us. It was so nice. So yeah, I did that when I was a kid. Just had the birthday party at my house. Had some folks come over, so it was always fun. And then it's always nice because I went to kind of a derail to my life stuff, but like I had the same went to the same school for like K through 8 or 1st through 8 and everything. And my birthday's in August, and I usually have like the first birthday of the year. So it was nice to have like everyone from like because it's pretty small schools, like everyone from the grade comes over. So it's like nice for fun to do that, and also maximize the birthday gifts by inviting everybody. So
Period.
amazing work there.
Yeah.
So that was always fun to look forward to. Kind of starting out that year with like a nice little party at the house with all the kids, all the children. Yeah, that was kind of that as a kid. Yeah. How about you, Mike? Any show come to mind like as a child?
I mean, for me, it was I wouldn't have a birthday party around this. I'm trying to remember if I had a themed birthday party.
I know.
I
Look
don't
at us
think
90s kids.
I don't
with
think I
no
ever did. Well,
themed
to your point about McDonald's, Sasha, yeah, it was more so about going. We never had a house birthday party. It was always going to a place
Same, yeah.
and then doing
yeah.
it. But it's always interesting for me now being a parent as to like, okay, are we going to have a theme for this? Like, we still had a birthday party at a secondary location for my son this past year, but we did provide like decorations that were aesthetically themed around Star Wars. And so like
Ooh.
I don't think we ever did that though. I think back in my day it was almost always going with like the generic paper plates and hats and streamers that the place provided rather than any specific pop culture property.
Interesting.
Yeah, now I'm like, I gotta ask. I actually texted my mom. Did I have a themed birthday? I'm not joking, because you really unlocked something for all of us. Tell us in the comments if you're listening to us on YouTube, which you should be, because listen, look at our pretty faces. Tell us if you had a themed birthday party and like what like generation are you? Because like, what was going on with our parents, Mike? Why did they do this?
I mean, it was the 90s, you know? There was a lot that was going on. Economics was booming. Everyone thought that they could just kind of do what they needed to do with no consequences. And so maybe in the future, they're like, you know what? We are going to screen print some of those cakes. And I mean, that was really, I remember that being like a game changer thing to screen print a photo and be able to make it edible frosting and put it on a cake. Now in retrospect, like, good God, the resolution on it is so bad, but again, you took what you could get back in those days.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at when this became a thing, like printing a picture on a cake. Like that's kind of just always been a thing for me. So once again, sorry for the you remember this became a thing. That's crazy.
I feel like if we were teen, like I was trying to do the math, but it's not true. But maybe future survivors, that if I was a teen parent, I could have been there. We did ask Brando his age because I was like, I think we missed the vote on Dwight, but what about Brando?
Yeah, you don't know how old I am by heart. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, I think we're okay on Dwight, but a few more years. Me and Kirsten were having this conversation.
Well, I'm intrigued, Dwight. It does seem like perhaps your indoctrination to more mature content apparently started with writing, side saddle watching SVU. But do you remember like the first quote unquote adult show that you watched? Was it, as a teen, was it like you got to college and someone was like, oh, you never watched this show? Let me expose you to it.
Trying to think. Also, I got to college, I just didn't watch too much TV then because not like we didn't have like a cable TV, just like watch stuff on Netflix randomly. Netflix shows I watched when I was in college. A lot of also like random Disney Plus stuff. I like the Star Wars stuff that comes on Disney Plus. I'll watch that religiously when it comes out. Like Andor came out. What else came out? Acolyte. Those are good. Like
what do you think? What do you think about television on Star Wars or Star Wars on television? I should say. I mean, look, I don't think any of us are necessarily levying complaints at it in the way that certain people on the internet are, but what do you think of the direction that things sort of have been going since Mando graced our screen 5 years ago?
Ooh.
Honestly, I've been enjoying it. I'm also, to be fair, not like a diehard Star Wars fan. Like some people, I'm just like a casual fan of the franchise. So I watch, I enjoy, I take it in. But I'll go to I'll see the subreddit, people just like up in arms of how dare they do X or Y or Z? Like this is all wrong. They're ruining the lore. I'm just like, I like the show, so I'm gonna watch the show. Please stop complaining about the show that I like. But no, I feel like any massive fandom that's attached to something will hate everything they do if it's not like exactly what they want it to be. And I think that's happening with Star Wars. They're getting a lot more shows, but also it's just like not their vision for it, so they hate it. I'm gonna get attacked by Star Wars fans in the comments for this because I'm saying the shows were good. They're just like, no, they were awful. But I liked them. They were pretty good. I've been really enjoying them, so I'm kind of hoping they kind of keep continuing with them. Honestly,
Well, Ahsoka was just announced to be renewed for season 2,
Yeah.
so that's coming at a certain point.
I didn't see that. Nice. Okay. That's awesome.
And that's interesting from your perspective, though, because like I would
Mhm.
imagine, had you seen any Clone Wars? Like you just watched Ahsoka without any knowledge as to all the
I
stuff
watched.
before it?
I mean, I watched. I didn't watch the like the Clone Wars. No, I didn't watch that when I was when it actually came out initially. I watched all the movies, of course, but not like the show. When I was like,
Mhm.
when was I when I how old was I when it came out? I was like Jesus. I forget my exact age, but I didn't watch that. No, I just kind of just hopped. I'm familiar with the lore of like Ahsoka and everything. But just like not watching the full Clone Wars show. So I just hopped into it. Just like, okay, it'll be fine. It's not background research needed before. I don't need homework to watch a show. I can just watch the show. Okay.
That Marvel.
Yeah, I
fans.
was gonna say Marvel of like, oh, you didn't watch the 20 movies beforehand? That's crazy. Anyways, have fun getting lost.
No, this is really interesting because I'd love to hear from you, Dwight. That as someone, right, that just feels like, hey, the property is here. I'm gonna consume it. We'll see what happens. And Mike, I feel like on the other hand as well, you come from, I feel like the other side where your knowledge about things is like so vast, it's ridiculous. So I would love to hear from y'all. You know, this new thing that's coming up, right, where studio execs allegedly are like talking about they want to have fans come talk and do a what is it, a focus group of the, and then take out whatever the fans don't like. I feel like this is setting up for no diversity, no women, right? Like nothing.
It's gonna be, in my opinion, it's gonna turn out miserably. Like I don't see that being a good thing at all. I'm like, because you go to any forum, people complaining about, like you said, the quote unquote diversity moves, like, oh, this is what you have a problem with randomly? That's crazy. Like you go to like any forum, it's like, why they put in the scene where all like the women are strong characters? Like, because they can be. Like, why is that a problem for you? And it happens way too often. I'm like, okay, I don't think we need focus groups people that are saying this. So yeah, I don't think they need like fan input can be helpful, but no, learn limits. I hope they set some limits for this practice if they start doing it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to be candid, I have an issue with it for a few reasons. One of them being not to say that fans of a product cannot become creatives in their own right. However, I do from a certain perspective, like there are reasons why certain people are showrunners, directors, writers, and some people aren't, is that they possess that ability to be creative. And I mean, again, like I'm not disparaging that. I mean, there are fan fiction writers that have gone on to pen, very popular book series that get turned into film and TV adaptations. So
yes, 50 Shades.
Exactly. So it's not to say that, and even Twilight, I think to a certain extent. So it's not to say that you can't necessarily like rely on fan opinions for creative guidance, but I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like from a creative pursuit, making things by committee is ever that great. I mean, maybe that's a bit different than like being in a writer's room and having everyone kind of brainstorm ideas. But what's brought to mind for me are just like focus groups that are saying, okay, so would you want this character or this character? I mean, there's a scene from The Simpsons where they do some focus group testing for Itchy and Scratchy. And the conclusion is like, so you want a zany show that is totally unrealistic and off the wall, yet filled with down-to-earth characters who go through problems that you can relate to. And also you win prizes at the end. Like, everyone is different. Everyone wants something different out of it. So it's going to be impossible to please everybody. Hell, the three of us know, in particular with the group that we run with, that it is an impossible feat to do. And while I understand wanting to incorporate more popular opinion in there, it sounds like they're trying to make it the be all end all, and that just feels like such a fundamental failure on so many levels.
Yeah, no, I echo everything, retweet all of what you've said. I also am under or in the camp of, what about original IPs? Enough. Let things be, right? We don't need the seventh remake of the same thing that we've heard of multiple times. Because I just watched Speak No Evil, and I was like, this is a cool movie, whatever. I'm frustrated, but it was like interesting to watch. And then I realized that's also a remake of a Danish one. it just nothing is sacred. Nothing. And I'm over it. Make original stuff. How about that?
And I think they made those two vastly different as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I was like, okay, interesting. So yeah, that was a choice to change it up for the American audience, but okay.
Made it much nicer. No spoilers, but
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say which one was the nicer one, but yeah, just
the American one.
Yeah, yeah. But also kind of piggyback off this, like maybe they're using old ideas too much. Remind me, there's a show that I watched a lot when I was a kid as well. It was like this African American like black sitcom called Good Times.
Yeah.
So love that show. It was my parents had like all the DVDs for it. It was like so I watched them a lot when I was a kid. So just a older show. But then I remember it was like a couple months ago, or maybe it was sometime this year. I was watching something. It was like an ad on Netflix for they made an animated version of it. And I'm sorry,
I remember
I was so repulsed by just seeing like the ad. I'm just like, why are you using, do not attach this to the show that I loved as a kid. Do not attach yourself to this. And they did. And I did not watch a lick of that animated show, but all I read about it was horrible. So I feel vindicated.
Did you see who the producer was or story writer, right?
I had not.
Seth MacFarlane.
This can't. No.
Yeah.
And also Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry too. I forgot about Steph Curry.
You cannot be serious.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of black folks and Seth MacFarlane, I believe.
And Norman Lear was there too, because I think he originally produced the original series.
My God, why did they? Who approved this? Like, why would?
That's why it's like if AI. I did not watch it, but it's like if AI like made something.
It's so like. Have y'all ever seen the original of that?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So good. I'm not sure why they thought they needed to resurrect it as this bastardized cartoon version that is just, it's in my opinion, disrespectful.
Right? The stereotypes. It's like in the little trailer again that I watched.
Even in the trailer, I'm just like, guys, you took the entire concept and heart of the show and missed it. For what reason? For genuinely make a new IP if you want to do this so badly.
And that's the thing as well, is that, and again, because I don't necessarily think creatives are not to blame, but I do think what does cause some of the backlash, besides like, the chodes and neckbeards out there complaining about everything, is the fact that there are people who will take an IP and use it to kind of disguise the show that they wanted to write. A good example of this, I think, is a recently canceled show, Velma, which has earned a lot of consternation, especially from like, who would have thought there were true dyed-in-the-wool Scooby-Doo fans out there in our universe? But man, they had a lot to say when that show came out. And like, it really did seem like, okay, you want to make your own adult animated thing, but it was not making it, past the first couple of rounds. So you have to associate it with a popular IP to kind of backdoor your way in there of like, no, it's a modern take on Scooby-Doo, when like, really it has nothing to do with it whatsoever.
No, it's just like an Indian girl that's like sad about life. Don't get me started. And why am I talking about this lady every TV?
I know, it's like Sasha's personal vendetta against Mindy Kaling is the subtitle of this podcast.
But no, it's just I was really excited for Velma. Again, I do feel like I am a fan, not a stan of Scooby-Doo. And then I watched one episode and I said, got it. No, this is just another Mindy Kaling, like Ryan Murphy, Mindy Kaling. What's going on?
Where did that show come out on? Was it like on Hulu or something?
HBO.
HBO. Okay, I see.
Max, whatever the F you want to call it.
Once again, saw the ad and just like, someone will enjoy that. Not me though. Y'all have fun.
Self-hating Indians. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really interesting. And like, I can't tell. I feel like a vocal part of the internet is tired of the reboots and the remakes, but like, I don't know, they're still being made. So like, is there just a healthy part of the population that does indeed go for the low-hanging fruit of like, well, I know Good Times, so if this is anything like the Good Times I know, I better go check it out. And then like, for, the people in the suits, that's all that matters to them, is how many people ended up watching it, no matter whether they liked it or not.
Oh, absolutely. It's just also probably an excuse for like people making these shows to say they did something, putting on their resume, be like, oh, I made this product that was it looks good on the resume to say like you worked on this reboot of Good Times, a reboot of Scooby-Doo or something, because like, oh, cool, and that's name recognition, get your name in the door for future projects. So I can definitely see if they want to do it for that reason, which is angers all the fans when they're just like you're making something that's slop, but whatever. You're making the money, I guess, and so whatever.
Oh, that's so real. And I think something that I believe was done well, but again, I'm not Black, so I want to lead with that, is the Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes.
I watched the first episode and I said, no, this makes sense.
No, that show is so good. That show is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Like everyone I know like reference that show all the time. Like just that's cool. So it's so good.
Yeah, and now that they made the remake, I don't know if you saw the first episode.
I did not. I have not seen the remake of that.
It's literally picked up where the last one ended.
Really?
Like literally from the slap.
Yeah, I get that. That's the question I would have is like, for a lot of these properties, would you rather it be a sequel where it picks up from where it left off, like your Frasers or Will and Graces, or would you prefer it be like an out and out reboot with new characters, sort of like what they're doing with The Office?
Oh, that's so hard.
I kind of like the continuation, honestly, but like that's selfish because of course, like I've grown at the same rate as the show, so I kind of want to see that same story continue on, like for my age. But I can also see the benefit of giving a different generation that same ability to fall in love with the same show that I did in the reboot kind of setting. But selfishly, I like the continuation part of it more because it's for me. So I want the show that I liked when I was younger to be better, continue, and storyline for me as an older person. So.
What about you, Sasha?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I am the drama because yes, I also like that better. Because there's the nostalgia sells at the end of the day. It is what it is. But then I'm thinking of a Fuller House, and I was so excited because I love Full House. I think that's the one show I think like I really can quote most of the episodes, and storylines on. But Fuller House was all right. I was like, oh, it's just missing everything. Because in no way that all of these people can live in the same house again. They have to have their own lives. But then that takes away from everything that's exciting about the show. So but then Girl Meets World, it had like a little bit of a continuation, but on its own journey. And then you're just like, okay, that was nice.
That's the thing for me. Maybe it's just because like I'm someone who consistently wants to look into, new IPs. I know this is a little bit hypocritical considering that like one of my main beats is covering Survivor, which is on season 47. But like I personally would rather go for a British TV model of like shows running for 2-3 seasons and then kind of going away. And so I would prefer personally the reboot for a couple of reasons. One of them being as well that I feel like with revivals, sequel series, what have you, it's almost always, the same creators working on the show. And that also almost always means that they are coming in from like their 1990s, early 2000s lens and trying to talk about things in the 2020s. And it like never pales well, like I'm pretty sure like the Futurama, I know they've rebooted several times, but like I think they tried to tackle a couple of current issues and it's gone about as well as a lead balloon in that regard. Like just having, and again, as a lifelong Simpsons fan, it makes me cringe to like watch some of these older white men that have been with the show for decades try to make commentary about, diversity to the points that you made earlier. But something that like serves as a nice example on the other side of that is like the Saved by the Bell, reboot, which I think, may it rest in peace. From what I saw, did a really nice job actually of like being able to tackle current issues that teenagers are facing because they were able to bring in a crop of talent that admired the old show, but also were youthful enough and present enough to bring it into the modern age.
Yeah, okay. I think that's fair. And I think if a Degrassi I don't know, part 100, next generation were to happen, or the Degrassi maybe we grew up with, which was a remake of the 80s Degrassi, it works if you're right, if it's topical and not cringe. I just feel like lately, and I don't want to sound like a boomer, but I just feel like, oh, it's getting so woke. But in that it feels inauthentic. And it's just like getting woke for what reason? And I'll give an example for Bel Air. I feel like that is so. I feel like that finally they have made it. They're they made it into their own show. Like season 3, I believe, felt like good. Like I was like, oh, it feels good. It feels like its own show now. It's divorced, and we'll have random people come in from the like paying new characters, and you're like, wait, what? That ain't who I think it is, and it feels exciting. But they have they have issues that teenagers now would have dealt with. Like Ashley is currently, bless her heart, her mom is like, you can't close the door with boys in the room, and she's like, but they don't identify as a boy. And then I was like, wait, but this actually would be a real life issue that parents would now have to deal with. Is like gender isn't binary. So what do you do?
Yeah.
And it was, I just feel like it was a really interesting conversation. I was like, this is good, like young adult sequels, and it doesn't feel as cringy. As like, what do I do in the next TikTok?
Because that's the thing, is that the sequel series, again, it's a little bit of who is this for? I guess, you're expecting to kind of cash in on the people that know the property, but chances are, like, how many people that are in the Frasier demographic know to go to Paramount Plus to watch the latest episodes, as opposed to, like, creating the show for another generation, not as, like, a direct replacement, but almost as an updated version of it. It just, and also for me as well, like being a big Star Trek fan, it's been very interesting that obviously, that show was very ahead of its time in the 60s, but certainly still shows flashes of it back when it was made. But now they've made a show that came out before the original series in the 60s that pontificates on themes nowadays as well. And so, like, I just think that is really the perfect way to thread the needle, that if we need quote unquote nostalgia bait, at least package it to me in a way that feels new, either a fresh voice or a fresh perspective, as opposed to, this is, season 7 of this show that's coming 20 years later.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then when they do a Gilmore Girls remake again, maybe I'll be sad. I just got into sorry, go ahead.
No, so I'm kind of curious because I think I was talking to a friend the other day about it. But do y'all only watch shows on like streaming platforms now, or do you have like TV, like do you go like flip through channels and stuff, or is it only just like you have certain platforms? And do you ever discover a show randomly, or do you always look for something in particular and that's it?
Yeah. Do you ever like surf the algo, Sasha? Take anything that it throws at you?
I feel like I am one of the, like I said, boomers that still has cable, actually, and it's really for sports. But still, I enjoy it actually. And you're right. I don't know, Dwight, that I specifically look for like, oh, this is just on, I'm gonna watch it. But then speaking of your baby mom's favorite show, I don't know, but Law and Order SVU, they do have new shows, and I will be like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this episode, and I'll just start watching it. And that's how I discovered The Floor. And one day I will go on that show. I swear to God.
How did you discover The Floor?
I was just, again, like maybe Dwight's right that, I was just watching, or I turned on the TV, and then I said, what the hell is this new show on one of the, those channels? And then I was like, oh, I'm in.
Is that the show where it's like, it's a screen and then they're just in the back? Okay, I thought so. How does, like, I'm sorry, but is it just...
It's hard.
Is it literally just they're doing that the whole time? It's just one-on-ones?
But with like different, with a different skill set or knowledge sets. So if Dwight, you and I, like your a skill set is Survivor, right? And then, and mine would be like TV shows, let's just say. Then if the thing Floor randomly lands on me, I'm like, either it's you on Survivor or I have to pick Mike, who has like podcasting as his thing, or hobbies maybe would be his thing. And then I have to pick which one. And then we fight on that. And then whichever one doesn't get used, that now could become your inherited category or mine.
Oh, so everyone has a category they start with.
Yes.
An area of
But that's
expertise,
not
and
what
then
you end
basically,
with.
and then it's almost like a little bit like Risk in that you're like
Yes.
trying to invade into someone else's territory to conquer that category, and then if you win, you sort of take their area. And I think it's like your goal is to like fill up the floor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And can you
Basically.
ever just like say, okay, I won enough, I got enough
Yeah.
space? Okay, I was wondering, like, I thought they just kept going until they got
No,
eliminated.
no,
I was
no,
like, I was like you start with one person, you can do one-on-ones, like, oh, you won 90 in a row and you lost the 91st. Guess you're eliminated. Okay, that
Yep.
makes more
Oh
sense.
yeah, and you will be. That has
Oh, that's how it works. Oh,
Yes.
that's I'd be
but the
mad
problem
at
is someone will challenge you, and then you're like, well, yeah, I guess because some person was only connected to the big person, so they had to challenge, and then that's it. So if that person lost, like who has been working so hard, you lost. And it was like
so
on
mad.
country music, someone lost, and I would too.
Oh, country, I'm cooked. Done for.
But yeah, what would be your area of expertise on the floor, Dwight?
Yeah.
Oh hell. Let me think about
Mike
this one.
would kill it on this show.
I think I would do pretty well. Like, I am not
Yeah.
Jeopardy. I'm no Drew Basile. But if it's coming to like knowing a little bit about everything, I would feel pretty good about that.
Honestly, like I'm in the same boat as Mike. I feel confident, like general knowledge. There's no like one thing I was like, oh, I killed this. It's just on like visual recognition, right?
Depends. Like some were like song lyrics, like the
Okay, I'd be
Taylor
cooked
Swift
there
one.
to be quite honest. But
Yeah.
anything else, like any like general
Mhm.
knowledge, I'd be very confident in, just in general. So that, yeah, I might watch that show. That seems
No, I had really I binged it in like one day. Right. Because I watched one episode and I say yes.
How did you
But it-
binge? I'm sorry, isn't it just like a show on like Fox that's just airing?
Yeah,
It's
No,
like
but
a
it's
once a week-
season
yeah, but
two.
it's like the surprise. It's like a serialized game show.
Yeah.
Like they like say, okay, this is how far we've gotten in this episode. We'll come back and like continue on.
Oh, I thought it was like they did the whole thing in like one episode.
No,
It's like
8 episodes.
for one floor.
Yeah.
Damn.
Exactly. And my question again, this does not matter, but like I really want to know if they get to go home at night and think about their category and then they come
Ooh.
back, or is it shot all in one day?
I would imagine they're at least shot in like a good handful, but yeah, because otherwise, like you could easily study up on your subject if you
That's
need
what
a
I'm
refresher in
saying.
between tapings.
Ugh. But if I challenge someone and then I'm getting country music, it's over because I only know Beyonce country. So yeah. Anyway, I do have a plan that I would go with the very niche.
According to Sports Kita, it was 5 days of filming with 2 episodes a day
okay.
for most of it.
So not okay. That feels fair.
Interesting.
Okay.
Did you ever want to be on a game show, Dwight? Was that like your early thoughts about wanting to be on TV?
Okay, so this is interesting. Funny enough, no. I like found like when I found Survivors because I wanted to do that, did it. But funny enough, I have been on 2 other game shows. I'm not sure if someone might be able to find these out there. I was on Price is Right with my mom.
Okay. Yes.
In 2018. It was the Mother's Day thing. So my mom, I was in school in California, right? So my mom, one time she was coming to visit me, she went to LA for a few days beforehand as well. Went to a Price is Right taping. She said it was fun. And then I was like, oh, there's a Mother's Day taping happening like before Christmas break. So let's just go to that one together and watch, right? So we went to that taping. They chose us because, okay, I'm pulling back the curtain a bit on Price is Right. It's not random. It's not completely random, guys. Yeah. It's just show some kind of personality in the line and they'll probably pick you.
Danny, to be fair, did say that. Yeah.
Danny, we talked with Danny from Amazing Race. He talked about how
Mhm.
you had to give like the 30-second pitch on yourself basically when they're going through the line.
But yeah, it was like we went, it was like apparently like my mom thinks they recognized her for the first time, which I kind of believe that. But yeah, we just wore like this bright pink clothing. She had a flower in her hair. We're just like, yeah, they're gonna pick us. They did. So they picked us. We went up there. We got on the stage. We did a game. We got some Amazon speakers, which are still in my parents' house. Like they love them. We could have gotten a car, but whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. You were able to play any number, and you could win an Amazon Echo Show, a spot, 2 dots and a plus, or a Mini Cooper hardtop.
How did you pull this up so fast?
Oh my god.
How'd you pull this up so quick?
I've only made it to
sideways.
the Price is
The
Right
dark web
episode.
has all of the Price is Right info. You just got to ask the right people.
Anyways, yeah, and then we did the wheel and everything. We spun a 90, and then the family after spun $1. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm done.
Oh,
So,
that sucks.
but no, it was like the people who won, they're so nice. I'm so glad they did. So you've got a little speaker, that was cool. And then even before that, when I was 14, once again, this was all happened like randomly. It wasn't like I sought this out. It was my mom saw this thing on Facebook. And it was like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Kids Edition. And I'm just like,
ooh.
And my mom's like, hey, you could look into this. I'm just like, sure, I'll apply, I guess, whatever. And then I went to some like summer camp and I was doing some like, I think it was really it was for pharmacy stuff because I was just doing like chemistry stuff. So I went to some camp in I think it was Georgia at the time. And then my mom calls me last day. It's like, hey, so the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire people kind of want to interview you. I'm just like, oh, this is actually, we're doing this. Okay, so did that. They like it was for 8 to 14-year-olds. So they eventually chose me for that. It's like, okay, cool. Flew us out to Vegas for a couple days. And it was like 2 days of there were like 20 of us kids, right? 8 to 14 years old. I was 14. I was like the second oldest kid there. And it was like 3 days of filming episodes. Yeah, 3 days of filming episodes, Wednesday to Friday. So, and then they said, okay, we'll choose guys in a random order to go film, right? It's supposed to be 3 weeks worth of episodes. We take 3 days, 3 weeks worth of filming. So it's just all of us get to play. We get there, they change it to be 2 weeks only of episodes. Guess who didn't actually play?
Oh,
that was fun. It was even worse because like, so it was 20 episodes. I think they ended up doing 14 people got to play. But they did eventually call my name. I was in makeup and everything. I was backstage ready to go on stage next. The producers came in and said, hey, so we just finished filming for the entire 2 sessions. Sorry about that. You're not getting to play. I was obviously not, because I was supposed to go on next. But as a consolation, because there was another kid in front of me who was like 9, who also, I'm sorry, I was second in line because there was a kid in front of me who was already had makeup done, and he was like standing on stage ready to go out. They told him that he was going on. This kid, like I said, was 9 or 10, was bawling his eyes out. I was upset. I was annoyed, but I was just like, damn, okay. So producers then came to me and said, listen, you're fine, because I wasn't crying. They're just like, okay, we're gonna do this quick thing. We're gonna do a random segment where we pull an audience member to answer a question. So I got randomly pulled from the audience to answer a question.
It's all a sham. There's nothing random in game shows.
So
yeah, sorry, NDA is getting breached. But yeah, they randomly pulled me for that, and I answered the question, got it right, got $1,000. So that was fun.
Oh, okay, at least.
So,
okay.
But yeah, I did watch, like, because I was obsessed. I was like, I found the episodes and watched them back because, like, oh, if I got to play, how would I have done? Reminder, I was 14 years old. The question for 8 to 14-year-olds. I played through every single game that the other kids did. And this is not me being like egotistical. This is just me being objective. I would not have walked away with less than $250,000.
Oh,
damn.
That hurts.
So I was like, damn, that would have been nice.
You owe us. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Like the questions, like I don't think I got eliminated on any other questions the kids watching. One kid did make like $500,000 question, and I was like, okay, but like the ones who made it pretty far, I knew literally every answer, so it was frustrating to watch back. I think it's on YouTube. I was like, okay, that's fun, love that. But I mean, Survivor happened, so I was very happy that I did. But yeah, no, it was like, it's funny to me because people on Twitter be like, but you need to have been on the show to go on to Brother Survivor. And it's like, no, it's just literally, these happen randomly because I have a personality. And they, like, Price is Right. You just show a heartbeat and a pulse and you have personality, you'll get on the show. The other one, I just applied randomly, got on. So it's just like, it's
all right. So you heard it here first. Angela from Big Brother, not a plant, just chosen because of her sparkling personality.
Yeah, that's the thing. I say about Angela. I was like, guys, it's just she probably just went to the show and they liked her a lot. It's not because she's not a plant from production because she won the Price is Right. Was I a production plant on Survivor? Do you really think I was a production plant on Survivor, guys? Answer your question there.
On The Amazing Race.
Right. We're not production plants. So yeah, it's very funny to always see the argument though, because I'm like, no, it wasn't even my goal. It just kind of happened. Be like, what are you gonna do? Someone called you and says, hey, you want to be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Yeah, no, thanks. I don't want to be on the show where I could win money for answering questions. Thanks for the offer. Bye. Like, of course I'm gonna do it.
Of course. And what a cool experience. I don't know. The behind the scenes of all these shows is
so cool.
always so fun. Granted, I only have, like I said, limited knowledge in India, but still, it's so fascinating.
Well, you got to go to TRL.
Yeah, basically. I did play and win, but it's so fun. Like, I don't know. I really enjoy how all the background stuff works. But listen, since we're talking about this, I feel like Dwight must have thought about this or not, and now we're gonna make him. But if you were, to be a part of a scripted TV show, do you have one that you'd want to be a part of?
Be a part of a scripted TV show? I've never thought about this actually.
Ooh.
Ooh, that is a tough question. Actually, I can't think of one on top of my head. Like
fair.
Well, what are I guess maybe this will help jog. Like, what are some shows that you like to watch now? Whether it's like stuff that's currently on, whether it's stuff that like you put on as a comfort show that you've watched a million times.
That's just strange because I don't really watch random. I don't have like a TV. I don't have cable here. I don't like throw on the show randomly. Like to answer my question earlier, for me, I'll just if I have something I want to watch on Netflix, Disney Plus, it's targeted. I will go and seek it out. Yeah. I don't really do stuff randomly anymore. Like it's the Star Wars stuff, random Disney Plus shows, the random Marvel shows. I think I was watching it back in an old show that I used to watch, Leverage. It's like a I'm not sure if you heard that. It's like a crime, like kind of crime solving.
Oh yes,
show. That was a show I liked when I was younger. So I was rewatching some of those episodes of that. What else have I watched recently? But yeah, it's hard because like a lot of the shows are like either shows where it's like these Marvel, Star Wars. I don't want to be a character in these shows. There's just like catastrophic events happening every other week. I don't want to be there.
We'll give you plot immunity. You won't die in those.
Yeah.
Oh, plot immunity, lovely.
Yeah, you can be main character if you want. That's up to you.
No, that's too much. That's too much work. Listen, main character, listen, even in these Star Wars and shows, like they're getting in fights all the time. I just want to chill. I want to vibe. I want to relax. Listen, so
Roseanne, got it.
The Good Times reboot.
They were in like the ghetto. Like what were they doing? The projects, like bizarre.
That was in the original too, but it was like more. It wasn't,
okay.
Yeah, it was like the sequel. They really made it seem like a.
I feel like they hammed it up. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, and like in that trailer, it made it seem like a really I don't know. It was more of an uplifting message in the original one. It was more so a positive spin. I don't think the second one has a positive spin on. Like even from the trailer, it just seemed genuinely derogatory. So I'm just like, why are you making this? I will not stop lambasting the show. I think it is a horrible idea they made it.
Good Times is derogatory.
It genuinely is. Like that's what the second one is. And why did they?
Oh my god! I asked Chappelle if it was good. I think they did on Recap Kickback.
Did he watch the Oh Lord!
I believe, but don't quote
I
me.
want to text him about that so badly now and see if he hated it as much as I think.
Oh my god, we just gotta watch it.
But it is interesting to your point, Dwight, about how I don't necessarily like and to hear about your differing perspectives, Sasha, as well, and that you seem to still kind of live in kind of the channel surfing model of like, I'll throw something on in the background and then whatever pops up will pop up. Like that still exists somewhere. Pluto TV is still something that like I think has become a bit popular because of that it's almost a happy medium where it's like, oh, I like episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, but I don't want to pick a very specific episode. Let me just kind of throw it on, and I really have no power as to pick what I want to watch. I'm just going to kind of watch it and then follow it along with limited commercial interruption. That feels like maybe a nice middle point between having everything specifically tailored for you and you being overwhelmed by so much and just like, turning on an electronic device and picking anything that might fall in your lap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, that remote work will have you on cable so fast. Oh my, I just want to watch Bar Rescue sometimes.
What's your favorite streaming service, Dwight? Is it Disney Plus because of all that stuff?
It's been Disney Plus recently. Mainly, I will say because of I can download episodes to my phone because I'm on a plane. I can just watch it offline because like you got to pay for that from premium on the other ones. Disney Plus just like you want to download 10 episodes to your phone, go for it. godsend. Love that. So that's kind of just gives them traveling a lot. Like just when I see people are going home, it's nice to be able to do it on a flight. If I'm not sleeping, I sleep on flights all the time. But how about y'all?
Yeah.
Really goes. I'm subscribed to way too many of them, but that is sort of like the nature of the beast. It's tough because I have live TV through Hulu, so that's the one that I've watched the most. I wouldn't say I check out a lot of original content on there, but like I always love what FX and its subsidiaries are doing. So I would probably say from an original content perspective, it's most likely Hulu, especially given sort of like the direction Star Wars and Marvel has been going in terms of quality. That seems to be one of the most like rock solid networks in terms of IP.
What on FX do you like? Like what is there?
Loved Fargo when it's like coming out. I mean, like it's not FX, but like the Bear is a part of that. Always Sunny is a part of that. Shogun, English Teacher. Actually, I started watching a couple episodes of English Teacher. That's a very fun show. I know a lot of people compare it to Abbott because they're like, oh, it's about schools. It is not. It's FX, so it's more like I would say Abbott crossed with something like It's Always Sunny, where it's darker, it's more crass, but it's like very fun. I very much recommend it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch it. I wasn't sure, how we felt about it. Perfect. We'll be adding. For me, funny enough, I think it is Amazon Prime. Like I was thinking about this because it was Netflix for a while because I think Netflix's UI is one of the best, and I don't know why these other people can't figure it out. That really is like a personal frustration, but I think Amazon Prime has the best shows, and again, because I like to watch a lot of Indian TV shows and stuff, Amazon just has the best Indian original shows. Like Made in Heaven is so good. Everyone should watch it. And it really, again, feels like fun and topical. And Amazon Prime, I think, pushes the boundaries. Maybe that, like just like FX, where it's not like this cookie cutter did an algorithm write this, which is where Netflix, I feel like, is going.
Yeah, well, especially with like, I don't know if y'all have watched Chaos, but that got canceled after one season. Yeah. It's Jeff Goldblum as a god. Like, where can you go wrong? And Emma Thompson.
What? Chaos?
Yeah, KAOS.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Cool. Interesting.
Oh
all right. Well, seems like an intriguing concept.
No, it's an intriguing concept. The problem is that like because everything gets released at once on Netflix, it's like you got to start doing stuff in the first 6 weeks, or otherwise we're gonna get like there's no long tail to this show. It's got to start putting butts in these chairs immediately, or else it's getting cut. And so it really has to be about overcoming this hill of, okay, you might not know about the show, but you're going to want to check it out in this weekend, or else we can't make another season of it. Meanwhile, Emily in Paris gets like 17 seasons.
How do y'all feel about the like nowadays people release like batch dropping episodes versus just like releasing weekly? Like, how do y'all feel about that? The weekly release versus dropping all at once?
It depends on the show because I feel like otherwise I'm going to sound so hypocritical. Bridgerton, how dare you? You know what I mean? Be serious. Shut up, Bridgerton. They give us 8 episodes, maybe 10. I don't even know because I'm
4 and 4.
Yeah. So 4 and 4. Yeah. Same with Emily in Paris. Are you kidding me? To do like half and half? Maybe I don't remember what happened in the last episode, let alone the last season for Emily in Paris. So I just feel like they're playing me on these silly shows. Just release them. You know what I'm saying? But Shogun was amazing to be week to week. And I feel like a Marvel show, if it's good, is really great week to week because I love to get caught up in the online discussion of it all. If it's like and Shogun specifically, I felt like I was learning so much in that week to week where it was like, oh, this is what the book said, and actually this is what Japanese feudal culture is, and here's where like they're doing it different. And then you'd learn from the people that the showrunners, and they would say, oh, here's how we worked really hard on making this correct, blah blah blah. So if it's a good show, I'll allow it to be weekly. But Emily in Paris, how dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. I am much more of a basic bitch and with the weekly model because to Sasha's point, I like the engagement from it. I don't like having to do the sort of tenderfoot. Okay, I'm at this part. Are you at this part? Almost like a book club in that regard of like, okay, how far are you into this? How much can I talk about it with you? The other thing being is that like I have such a varied diet in my television watching. I am still really used to like watch an episode of this thing, watch an episode of that thing, watch an episode of this thing, and then the calendar refreshes and we do it all over again. That I'm just not a binger in general. Look at me, I'm live. It doesn't necessarily go through my metabolism. And so it's tough for me to like binge through a bunch of stuff and also remember a good amount of the details that happen with it. I'll more so take away a general vibe than, oh yes, I remember in episode 4 when this specific thing happened. Even if it is like a very detailed show, it just all runs together.
Agreed. What
about
you?
you, Dwight?
Are you? Yeah. I was like,
I'm more of the I like the weekly because I don't do like the online discussion for shows a lot more than just the. Also, like if I'm just happen to be too busy to watch when the day it drops, like and if I even see one tweet about it, it gets me spoiled for me. So I just have to avoid like all devices because the Twitter algorithm does its thing, and it's like I looked up the show one time and suddenly you say, "Oh, you looked it up before it came out. Here are all the spoilers from people talking about it." It's like I can't mute every word in existence like the show. But
yes,
you try your best.
Yeah, that's what we talked about with Mo last week, right? That like if you don't watch an episode of a show, there's a good chance that your algorithm will just take people that are posting video clips from it and put it together, so you basically don't need to watch it. You just can see all the highlights online.
Yeah, that too. I think I've watched Big Brother episodes like that for the past like year or two. But like, I'm not gonna watch it live. So just like, I have the few accounts that post the clips, like the competition clip, cool. The one fight clip, the drama, the meeting. Okay, that's it. All I need to do. Save my time.
Dwight, if there was a scripted adaptation of Survivor 43, who would be cast to play you?
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
I have an answer, and I'll be intrigued to see if it matches up.
Ooh.
I
Mitch McConnell. I'm just kidding.
Jail. I want her arrested.
Well, you know who to talk to about that.
I went 52 minutes without making that joke.
52. I have to be proud of that you made it 52 minutes in. You could have just not made it. You could have just held off. You were saving that. You were just waiting for.
No, I really wasn't. It came.
I don't believe you. I don't know who would play me. Oh my god. What are your answers? I can't think of anybody.
Maybe it's because this show was mentioned earlier in the podcast, but I could absolutely see Tyler James Williams playing Dwight Moore.
It's the dry humor.
It's exactly it's that like low, dry voice.
Oh my!
It's that nerdiness. Like it really fits you to a T. I think.
Do you like gardening? I'm just kidding. Oh my god! No, it's the way like Dwight looks at us when he's like mad, and he'll just like kind of just stare us down until we're like, okay, we're kidding or whatever.
I am never mad. I never get upset at you guys. I love my friends so much, and I never get upset at anything you say.
You're lying.
Me lie on this podcast? No,
never.
Oh my god, that's so good. Because I was really trying to think who was like funny, like Dwight. That's where I was getting stuck.
Oh my god, I'm funny now. Oh, I love that.
With like that dry humor, yeah.
It's like you're not hilarious. You're just kind of dry humor.
Yeah. The dead thing. Yeah, that's so good. And everybody like really does hate Dwight.
I get bullied by you.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what happens.
Like, all the characters work too.
Oh my god. Well, everyone may hate Dwight, but we love you and we loved you on this podcast, Dwight.
Sasha 2 minutes in. Yeah, I guess he's all right. Yeah, I guess he can be here.
It's a perfect way to book at the podcast, I think.
Bad for Dwight, everyone. Just tune in on Sunday.
Excuse me?
To see why.
No, y'all.
See why.
You see what I deal with here, guys. Have empathy, sympathy for me. My ordeal, the problems I go through.
Oh my
Look at
God. Well,
Sasha. She's laughing at my
outside of
plate.
a call for sympathy, Dwight, anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to talk about in the realm of scripted TV?
We're so unserious.
I can't think of anything.
What do you mean, Blood on the Clock Tower?
Yeah,
You
what,
must-
Oh,
people
you
can
said
check out your
scripted
streams.
TV. My
Oh,
Blood on the Clock Tower
sorry.
is not scripted. It is
True.
No, you
live
do
and-
follow a script in giving out roles to people.
Yes.
That is true. But yeah, no, I do that every Saturday and Monday now. With Saturday with the RHAP crew and Survivor and Big Brother and other folks, and then Mondays with the RHAP patrons in general. So that's been going super well. It's at twitch.tv/doing more. I had to remember my own channel name for a second because I'm brain fart. But yeah, doing more is the channel name. So yeah, if you ever want to insert that, come by. Also, there's a game on Rob's RHAP's YouTube channel that was edited. We made that a couple months ago and it's finally live. So watch that if you're interested. We played the introductory script, so I think it's a good way if you've never played the game before to get introduced to how the game's played. You'll see all the conversations happening like in conjunction with each other. So it's a really good way to understand how the game is played and what the roles do. And if you like that, then come to the stream afterwards.
All right. Sasha, besides demeaning Dwight, what do you have going on?
Oh my gosh. Yes, if you want to know more about celebrity culture, why something's trending, why we should bully Dwight. No, I'm just kidding. Check out messmagnets.com, where Kirsten McKennis and I are just yapping, being girlies, and talking about why we're in an alliance. You'll know all about it on messmagnets.com.
What are you covering this week in terms of celebrity gossip?
Ooh, this week I believe we're gonna be talking a lot about the What's in the Rug follow-up. Yes, because we did cover What's in the Rug. We talked about it a lot, but
is What's in the Rug the Al Capone's vault of the 2020s?
Can you imagine? Spoiler alert, it was nothing.
Yeah, so it was the Al Capone's vault of the 2020s.
True.
What is this? What's
This
in
is
the rug?
it's a TikTok thing.
Please listen to Mess Magnets. You'll know.
Yeah,
I will listen because
yeah.
I. Okay.
I will give you the time, and there's a time, so you don't have to listen to everything else if you don't want to. And did you guys know that Stefan Diggs was allegedly sleeping with Cardi B?
When she was 8 months pregnant?
Yeah.
That's all that.
Because it feels like a follow-up episode. Because I again was like, guys, Cardi B allegedly was also cheating on Offset, but I don't know with who. And then this comes out. What the hell? But apparently Stefan Diggs is the hose, and everyone be spinning the block on him.
He's playing for a lot of teams.
Yeah, correct. So, ladies, apparently, if you want to get back at your man, Stefan Diggs is waiting for you.
If you want the ultimate revenge game, get with Stefan Diggs.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Imagine. I mean, he's fine. It's okay. But yeah, so for all of this mess, check out Mess Magnets. And of course, we are now going live after the episodes for Dancing with the Stars. And we had such a fun time. Well, at the time of this recording, this was last night, where Matt Liguori and Queen Izzy joined us to talk about Dancing with the Stars, Gene Simmons' crazy ass, and Brooks and Gleb. Baby,
yeah, we were talking with Dwight earlier offline about everything that was going on with Gene Simmons and Dancing with the Stars, and it was quite amusing to see his reaction to it.
Yeah.
And especially this, like, the hair metal one. Oh my god, what an episode to
yeah, Soul Train Night didn't have much aside from Dwight Howard rocking the end of mode bob.
Yeah.
Oh, Twitter told me I didn't know about that. That was funny.
Oh my gosh. But yes, oh my god. The hairy metal. And listen, the fact that it was live with Izzy and Matt. Oh my god, so good. Everyone, please check that out. But yeah, that is it. What about you, Mike?
So the usual stuff from the reality TV perspective: Survivor, Big Brother, The Challenge, Masked Singer. I posted about this on Twitter, but Yvette Nicole Brown watched a Brant Steele. Freaking wild. Then on the scripted side of things, covering The Penguin, which I'm now all in on. And we had Chappelle on Down the Hatch. He has watched all of Lost in about a 3-month clip. And so Josh and I basically brought him on to ask him a bunch of questions. And then he asked us a bunch of questions because Lost leaves you with a bunch of questions. It was a very fun time. Chappelle Gets Lost should be coming to your feed soon before we start on a Battlestar Galactica. Besides that, Sasha and I will be back next week with another reality star talking scripted TV. Of course, for those of you that will be in New York for the live show, you'll see me there. You'll see Dwight there. Let us know how you thought this podcast went. Have some kind words for Dwight, perhaps. See if there's another person you want to cast in his stead in the live action remake of
Live action remake.
I love it. I love that.
Maybe, well, sometimes Modern Survivor kind of seems like a cartoon. So yeah, maybe that seems to be the case.
On
But,
Total Drama Island.
exactly. But feel free to let us know some other reality stars that we might want to have here talking about their scripted TV taste, past, present, and future. Thank you so much, Dwight. Sasha, thank you. As per usual, we'll be back once again with another episode of TV for Real. Until then, everybody, it's been real.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.